Hey, what is going on, guys? This is DK. Back at you with another video here to break down the 11-game NBA main slate on Friday. Before I get into the video, if you guys are new to the channel, my name is DK. I make daily videos and live stream for NBA and NFL slates on Draftkings. If you guys cannot watch these YouTube videos, I do upload an Apple Podcast. I'll link down below. If you guys are interested in signing up for premium content, and I'll offer that on Patreon.com. A couple different packages of esports, have NBA, which includes NFL for free, also linked down below. And I want to thank Prize Picks for sponsoring the show. Again, if you guys are not familiar with Prize Picks, this is a site where you're basically taking over/under on fantasy points, right? So, for example, Zach LaVine's on 43.5 fantasy points projected tomorrow. Do you like the under? Do you like the over there? The cool thing about Prize Picks is you can mix and match sports. So you can play NFL, they have NBA, college, esports, PGA. I think it's a really fun way to kind of get different from DraftKings, right? Because you're not playing against anyone, you're playing against the house. So if you guys want to sign up, you can use the code DKDFS. DKDFS, all one word, link down below. You get a 100% match up to $100. So basically, you put $100 in, you got $200 to play with. And finally, I want to thank you guys again for the continued support. Basically are almost at 7.9 thousand subscribers now on YouTube. If you guys do enjoy this content, if you leave a like button on the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit the notification bell so you don't upload videos you don't go live. That would be greatly appreciated. As always, I will be doing a live stream before lock on my YouTube channel to go over everything, answer all your guys' questions. Let's aim for 200 likes on this video, guys. But with that all out of the way, let's jump in the video. So, before we talk about players and their prices for this 11-game slate, let's look back on the lineup here from the 3-game slate on Thursday. So these small slates, on Tuesday, Thursday, I've basically taken the day off. Like, I just played the big tournament, and that was it. I got a little bit more contrarian here, right? I took some shots on some value plays. Let's go over my lineup. So Alex Caruso, Jordan Clarkson, LeBron James, Giannis, which didn't work out, Wiseman quickly, who's only played 6 minutes so far. Pretty tilting, to be honest. And then Julius Randle and Favors. So, I want pretty stars and scrubs here. LeBron had a really good game. Julius Randle's having a really solid start. Giannis had his 4 game. And, was that a mistake going to Giannis? It might have been. Because it just seems like he always falls short in the big games, right? In the playoffs, he's really struggled. In the big games, it just seems like Giannis always just struggles. So probably should have went to either Middleton or Drew there and saved some money. I think that might have been a mistake on my part. Caruso's value play, it was solid, 20 fancy points, and Clarkson has 17.5. Just the 4 game from Giannis. 9 turnovers. 9 turnovers for Giannis. Quickly only played 6 minutes so far. That was a risk I was willing to take. Wasn't sure, what his role would be with Alec Burks back. He only played 6 minutes, which is obviously not going to get it done. So, I'm not going to cash unless something crazy happens here. But that's why I only played this tournament, because I didn't want me cashing coming down to getting, lucky in which value play hits. And it was KCP, right? Because KCP ended up hitting his threes. I think he went for over 30 fancy points, but I didn't want my lineup coming down to that. So just took the slate off basically. On slates where I don't think there's an edge, I will play very light like this, or just not even play at all, because I don't think it's worth it to play a slate that you're not confident in. I took it very, very light, and that's about it. So let's talk about this 11-game slate. Much better slate here. I'm excited for this one. We have, 5 games out on Bovada right now. So Nets and Cavs, a 227 over under. This one went to double overtime last slate. Nets are 9.5 point favorites. We have Mavs, we have Spurs, a 223 over under. The Mavs are 2.5 point favorites. Nuggets and Suns, a 218.5 over under. The Suns are 1.5 point favorites. Kings and Knicks, a 218.5 over under. The Kings are 4-point favorites. And Thunder Clippers is a 220 over under. The Clippers are 13-point favorites. So obviously some blowout risk in that one. But let's start here with Chicago and Charlotte. So Chicago, the big news is Wendell Carter Jr. doubtful. So with Wendell Carter Jr. doubtful, I assume Daniel Gafford starts at center. If Daniel Gafford starts at center, he immediately becomes one of the best value plays in the slate. Now, will he play as much as Wendell Carter Jr.? He might not, But if we get like 20-ish minutes out of Gafford at basically min price against this front court, I think it propels him to be one of the best values on the slate. So got to keep an eye on that, but doubtful. Don't expect him to play. I would assume they start Gafford. I guess they could go small ball and start a guy like Thad Young. I think either way, Thad Young probably will get some run as maybe like a small ball 5 here. So I think he would be like an interesting value play, but not as good as Gafford, because Gafford's way cheaper. The guys at the top, Levine at 9.5. He is always in play for GPPs. He's actually hit over 50 in 3 of the last 4 games. 4 of the last 5 games, actually. Levine's been really solid. He's been stuffed in the stat sheet. Again, good matchup here. I'm perfectly fine if you want to go here in GPPs. I am. Kobe White at 7K has kind of been struggling recently. Minutes going down on him. I don't love it. Lauri Markkanen at 6.6 with no Wendell Carter Jr. I guess they could technically go small ball, maybe move him to the 5. I don't think they will, but if they do, that would be a slight boost to him. Either way, I just think he's like a neutral play. Patrick Williams is back. Not really interested in Otto at that price. And I'm not really going to the value with them basically healthy besides Wendell Carter Jr. So let's move on to the Charlotte Hornets. Hornets are a team I just dislike because it's always tough to kind of nail down where the production is going to come from. LaMelo Ball's all the way up at 7.8. Well, it's just the minutes, right? Sometimes he's playing about 30 minutes, sometimes only 23. So just makes him at that price just strictly a GPP play. Gordon Hayward at 7.7. He's been up and down. He's got some upside, but just 20, 43, 26. I just can't really trust. I do like the matchup. I love targeting players against the Bulls, but this is a team I never trust. You have Rozier and Graham actually have played some big minutes recently. Graham, 36, 37, and 38 the last 3 games. Rozier at 36, 37, 38 as well. So these guys are playing huge minutes, and it's a good spot. They're priced in like the 6K range. I think they're both fine options. I think one of those guards probably has a really good game, but just hard to, again, kind of nail down where the production is coming from. If one of these guys struggle, they will go to LaMelo Ball. So it's like, it's tough. I think Graham is if I had to pick one, it would be Graham just because he's the cheapest. Bridges, probably not going to go there, 4 or 5. Cody Zeller looking like he's going to be back. We'll see if he starts. If he does start at center, I think you can maybe look to him as a punt play. But yeah, got to keep an eye on that. Kind of takes Bismack Biyombo completely out of play with Zeller back. Let's move on to Houston and Detroit. So Houston, big news. No Christian Wood. He's out for this game. So right to the boogeyman here at 4.4K. Going up against Detroit too. Absolutely smash spot here for Boogie, who is just a phenomenal point per minute guy. Realistically, though, you have to keep in the back of your mind that there's a decent chance he might get ejected. Like, he's gotten, I want to say like 3 or 4 times already this season he's got ejected. So, like, he's just got a short temper. That's always a risk with Boogie Cousins, but with no Christian Wood, I would say he starts and probably plays at least 20 minutes, probably more around the 25-minute range. Just, again, makes him a really, really good value play at 4.4K. And point guard Victor Oladipo. Still no John Wall. I do still really like Victor Oladipo here. The only downside is the minutes, 32-31. So it's not like he's playing big minutes, but look at these shot attempts, 23, 22 shot attempts. Again, he's got the ball in his hands a lot. He's got the more higher floor at the assist. So I still really like Victor Oladipo at 8K. Again, no Christian Wood. He's going to have to probably do a little bit more offensively. So Oladipo, I think, looks a really good spend up there at the top. And I do like Eric Gordon in the mid-range. He's playing mid-30s minutes. Again, 17, 20 shot attempts. Doesn't have as high of a floor because just a little bit more scoring dependent. But I like all 3 of those guys I mentioned with the Boogeyman, Victor Oladipo, Eric Gordon. Now, I will mention Jayshawn Tate because he played 37 minutes last game. I guess you can go there for value. Again, he's not going to be a super high usage guy. PJ Tucker will probably play the backup 5 at 4-1, but I just don't want to play PJ Tucker. And that's it for Houston. Let's move on to Detroit. So Detroit, there's really one guy for me. It's Jeremy Grant. Liked him last night, like him again here. Great matchup. Houston does not play much defense. They play very fast. So I think Jeremy Grant definitely has a lot of upside here at 8.1K. Really do like him at that price. Griffin at 6.2, sure. You can go to him because of the matchup. Played, 34 minutes in regulation. It's just he's not really looked like himself, but I think you can go there if you want to. D Rose, again, was kind of let down for me last game. Only played 23 minutes in regulation, but you could go to him in GPPs. He's flashed some 30-plus fantasy point upside. The rest of the guys is hard to trust. Like Plumlee's minutes are up and down. Again, you can go there, but center is kind of loaded today. DeLon Wright losing minutes with D Rose back. Josh Jackson not playing a ton. Wayne Ellington has been getting some decent run lately. 26, 28, 33. If you trust those minutes to continue, you can take a shot on him, but pretty reliant on the scoring, so like that is a risk. But if I had to pick someone as a value play for Detroit, I guess it would be him just because of the minutes. Let's move on to Orlando and the Pacers. So Orlando, Vucevic, Aaron Gordon, I think both look pretty solid. Vucevic still below 9K. If Miles Turner's out, I like him even more. Because Miles Turner's actually been a pretty solid defender. If Turner's out, I think Vucevic does look like a really solid spend up. He played 43 minutes that last game. In regulation, 43 minutes. So that is obviously, I don't think we get that again, but that is good to see. I think that's the reason he played so much, because they were just trailing in the second half. They needed him to come back. So, like, I'm okay with Vooch at that price. I do like Aaron Gordon, too. Again, it's not as good of a matchup as that last game against Minnesota, but both Aaron Gordon and Vucevic are solid plays here. Both have some upside. I like them both. Ross is a guy I don't play. Same with Evan Fournier. Cole Anthony at 5'2". How many minutes did he play last game? 28. Again, okay, but don't love it. And that's really it for me. I don't think I get to, like, the value guys. I don't think we have to go there. So let's move on to the Pacers. Pacers are waiting on Miles Turner's status, right? He's currently questionable. If he's out, that is a boost to Sabonis, who just play basically the entire game at the 5. Boosts his floor, boosts his upside. I think Sabonis would be a pretty solid play if there's no Miles Turner. If Miles Turner's in, Sabonis at 9.9, just like an okay play. Malcolm Brogdon at 8.2K. Just the minutes, right? Minutes are huge for him. I think he's a safer play. Hasn't really had a big game recently, but we know it's there. He's got 50-plus fantasy point upside. So I think Brogdon's a decent play at that price. Miles Turner himself, if he does play, would be interesting because the last 2 games he played 42 and 37 minutes. So, like, Turner would be intriguing if he does play. I will mention Doug McDermott, because when Turner was out, he played 34 minutes. So if Turner's out again, I think we probably get 30-plus minutes from McDermott. He did have 8 rebounds, more of an outlier, usually more reliant on the scoring, but I think you could look to McDermott if Miles Turner's out. Justin Holiday actually played a decent amount, 38 minutes. Again, low-usage guy. I guess he's viable. I will mention TJ McConnell just because he's a decent point per minute guy, and he has played 21, 26, and 21 minutes the last 3 games. So if you need something super, super cheap, I don't think he's the worst play, but that's really it for the Pacers. Let's move on to Brooklyn, Cleveland. So this game went to double overtime, so just be like all these guys. I think it was only Kevin Durant that was having a decent game before OT. Like Harden and Kyrie, I think were both not doing great. So in regulation, Harden played 40 minutes. Kevin Durant played 40, and Kyrie played 38. Kyrie is the cheapest of the bunch at 9K. I think Durant probably has the highest floor at 10.7. All 3 of these guys are decent, but I still, like, only one game. I'm not fully confident in, like, each of their roles right now, so it's like I might just stay away again. Obviously they had big games last game because of the double overtime, so you got to take that with a grain of salt. I think they're all like solid plays. If you feel really good about one, you can go there. But for me, I'm probably still going to like take a wait-and-see approach here. Joe Harris, I'm not going to get to. I'm not going to play DeAndre Jordan. Jeff Green did play. I will mention he played 35 minutes in regulation, but low-usage guy, and don't love it. And that's it. I don't want to go to any of the bench guys. Let's move on to Cleveland side. So Drummond did only play 26 minutes with Jarrett Allen back, so don't really want to go there. Sexton had the big game last time out. I won for 63 fantasy points, had a great shooting game. If you want to go back there, I don't think it's the worst play, and it's a good matchup, but don't expect 60-plus from him again. Again, Jarrett Allen kind of out of play with him and Drummond splitting minutes. Osman did play 40 minutes in regulation. He's been playing well recently. 6'5", though. It's like not getting him an amazing discount. I don't think he's like a decent play in the mid-range. Got to keep an eye on Darius Garland news. He's questionable. If he's back in, that's probably just less minutes for other guys in the team. And yeah, that's probably... I mean, Taurean Prince did play 32 minutes, but played a lot of those in overtime, so probably only around like low 20s minutes for him. I guess he'd be an okay value play at 4.3, but don't like love that either. So that's it for me. I'm not playing Okoro. He's just too low usage guy even with the minutes. Let's go to Boston and Philly. So Boston still no Tatum. Jaylen Brown at 8.5. More of a secondary spend up for me. I like other guys in better matchups. So probably not going to go to Brown. Kemba is still on a minutes limit. It is going up, but not enough for me to play him 25 to 28 minutes. And that kind of takes T. Pritchard out of play. Tice had a big game last game. I'm not chasing that. Rest of the guys just no one really stands out for the Boston side for me. On the Philly side, obviously Joel Embiid at 10-1 is always in play. Just won for 65 last game. He's got a good amount of upside. I'm perfectly fine if you want to go back to the ball here with Embiid. You got to ask yourself the opportunity cost, right? Center is really loaded today. Ben Simmons now at 8.4. It's just when Embiid's healthy, I don't really look to like Ben Simmons and Tobias Harris. Seth Curry also back, which kind of hurts Milton and Maxey. So really, like this Boston Philly game, I'm probably just not going to get any exposure to. Let's move on to Miami and Toronto. So Miami still got to monitor Tyler Hero's status. If Tyler Hero's out, we can go right back to Dragic and Kendrick Nunn. Bam Adebayo at 8.6 again would be a good play too. But center is pretty loaded. So yeah, if Hero's out, obviously Bam at the top, and then Dragic and Kendrick Nunn. Dragic started, played 31 minutes. Still, like we're still, in my opinion, we're still kind of getting 4 games from Dragic. Like I think he has more upside here. Will we see it? I'm not sure, but he's a guy that can get you, rebounds, assisting the ball, score the ball. If Tyler Hero's out, I'd be fine going right back to Goran Dragic. And then Kendrick Nunn too. I wanted to play him last night. I told you guys why I couldn't get to him because the pivot I was making left me in like a weird range. Albeit Nunn went for 47 fantasy points. I mean, he's an aggressive offensive player. That's why I like playing this guy. Now, price up to 5.4. But if Tyler Hero's out again, I think we'd probably get at least 30 minutes from him or around there. So I think he would still be a viable play in the mid-range. Not as good a play as last slate. But yeah, if Hero's out, it would be, again, Dragic and Nunn for me. Let's move on to Toronto. So Toronto, some pretty big news. Pascal Siakam currently questionable. Got to keep an eye on this. This is big. This is big news. If he is out, Lowry, Van Fleet look like really solid plays at their respective prices. Both safe options because the minutes and the fact that both stuff the stat sheet. Van Fleet at 7.8, Lowry at 7.9. I would like both. And then I would really like Chris Boucher. I know he struggled last game. For the first, that was pretty shocking. And he did only play 23 minutes. Also a little bit surprising. I thought he'd play close to the 30-minute mark, so that hurt. But normally he's just a great point per minute guy. So that was kind of an outlier performance from him there. I know it's not the best spot, but if there's no Pascal Siakam, I would assume he starts and maybe plays more, maybe around the 35-minute range. So got to keep an eye on Siakam news. If Siakam's out, I think Chris Boucher, if he starts, would be a pretty good play there at that price. OG's been playing big minutes. He played 40 last game. I think he's a decent play. Again, safer option because of the minutes. That's it. The bench guys just don't play enough for me to consider them. All right, Atlanta, Minnesota. So this is a game I think has a good amount of upside here. Let's start with Trae Young at the top. I do like him a good amount here for GPP. He's played 44 minutes again in overtime, so 39 in regulation. But still, 39 in regulation is really good to see. He's had 50-plus the last 3 games, and this is phenomenal matchup. So I'm definitely considering Trae Young there at the top. And Clint Capella, 76 fantasy points last game, 27 points, 26 rebounds, 2 assists, 5 blocks, and a steal. So we're not going to get that again, most likely. But this is another smash spot here against Minnesota with no Cat. He should be able to feast against the likes of Naz Reid, Ed Davis. So I really like Capella once again here. The one thing I just don't love is we're getting him after huge games. It's obviously going to raise the ownership. I never really like buying high end guys, but it's hard to ignore him in this matchup too. This is just one of the best spots against Minnesota. So I do really like Capella there. John Collins got some upside with no DeAndre Hunter and no Cam Reddish. He played 38 minutes in regulation. I think he would be a decent play too just because of the matchup. Again, if Hunter and Reddish are out. So got to keep an eye on Hunter, got to keep an eye on Reddish. Gallinari also doubtful. If Hunter and Reddish plays, I think they're both solid options. No one really stand out. If Hunter and Reddish are both out, then we can look to Kevin Huerter, now priced down, right? 5.9K, that seems a little bit more viable. I think he would be a decent play. And then a guy like Solomon Hill for value. Played 40 minutes, so 35 in regulation. Solomon, I know he wasn't great. I know he didn't do a ton, but I think he would be in play here for value if he starts again with if Hunter and Reddish are out. So that'll be something to keep an eye on for sure. So into Minnesota, so no Karl-Anthony Towns. D'Lo, so my issue is he only played 32 minutes in a close game. He wasn't in foul trouble, so that's just not good, right? I don't want to play someone that's only going to play low 30s minutes in a competitive game. I do love the spot here. I want to go here, but it's just the minutes, right? I need to see him in the high 30s minutes. He played 36 that one game against Memphis. They're just been up and down. He did play 38 there against the Spurs, but just hard to trust. So more of a GPP play because of the minutes. Malik Beasley at 6'9". Again, these two will have to get it done if they want to keep this game competitive. Malik Beasley playing around 35 minutes. He's shooting the ball a ton. 18, 13, 17, 15. So I think Beasley might prefer him for the price to D'Lo. Again, he also can stuff the stat sheet. So I think both guys are in play here for GPPs. Naz Reid started at center. Actually did say that in foul trouble, played 29 minutes. And you can look to him. Ed Davis for value. Again, probably backs him up. But center, again, is pretty loaded, so I don't know if we have to go there. Vanderbilt started, but got in some foul trouble. So if you played him, you got a bit unlucky there. 5K, little. I mean, you can still go back to the ball there, but the foul trouble is a little concerning. Also, the fact that they played Jaden McDaniels a lot of minutes, kind of out of nowhere. Right, he was playing 12 minutes and was out of the rotation. Played 12 minutes against Atlanta, and then 26, kind of again just out of nowhere. So it's it's hard to trust the secondary piece in Minnesota right now. I think they might go with the hot hand. Makes Vanderbilt, again, McDaniels obviously risky. Edwards was somewhat popular last game. I didn't go there. Again, he has a low floor if he's not hitting his shots. He really has not been good this season. You can try to take a shot on him. A Koji Culver, just no one's really playing a ton of minutes like these secondary plays that I feel good about. So it's I'm probably just going to stay away. I will mention McLaughlin because he's played about 20 minutes. 19 and 21 minutes is not bad. He's at 3-4. If you want to get really contrarian, you can look to him for value, but there's just nothing I feel really comfortable with besides the top two guards here for GPPs on the Minnesota side. Dallas, San Antonio. So Luka and Porzingis, I think, look like two of the better plays on the slate. Luka at 10-9, has had a couple, somewhat floor games for him, 35-51. He did get a little bit banged up last game, went to the locker room, came back in and did play. So I got to keep an eye on that. Maybe the list is questionable, but if he's full go, I do like the spot here, a good amount here against the Spurs. I think he's got a ton of upside below 11K. Also, again, Porzingis is one of my favorite plays last slate. At low ownership, going for 53 fantasy points. I like him again here. So both Luka and Porzingis, I think, look like good spend ups in a great matchup. Hardaway is always viable, but again, reliant on the scoring. Don't really want to play Cauley Stein at that price. Minutes going down. Brunson versus Burke. I think I give the edge to Brunson slightly because of minutes recently he's been starting. So I think Brunson would be a decent value play if he does start again. And then finally, James Johnson. He's playing about mid-20s minutes. I think he's like a decent value play if you need someone cheap. He can stuff the stat sheet. So yeah, James Johnson is the guy that I think is viable again. Still missing the rest of the guys with like Jay Rich, DFS, Maxi Kleber, and Dwight Powell. On the Spurs side, so for me, you guys know I don't like the Spurs because they're just, everyone kind of is inconsistent up and down, not really the best matchup, and just on a 11-game slate, I'm just probably going to fully avoid them. If you feel really good about one of these guys, you can go to them. Again, these, like probably one or two will have an upside game, but just good luck trying to figure out which one's going to be. Seriously, good luck. So I'm just not going to do it on this slate. OKC and the Clippers. So this game has some blowout risk. SGA more of a contrarian GPP play, but if you're playing Kawhi or Paul George on the slate, I think it does make sense to run back with SGA because the only way Paul George and Kawhi Leonard get there is if the game stays close. I think the only way the game stays close is a big game from SGA, right? So kind of just roster construction there. If you are playing one of those Clippers guys, maybe run back with SGA. Still no Horford, so Roby's viable play, but now priced at 5K. That seems priced about right. Again, okay value. Lou Dort's been good back-to-back games. I don't know if I trust it. The secondary plays, they're just going with hot hands now, so I don't really want to mess with that either in an 11-game slate. Let's move on to the Clippers. Good matchup here. Again, a little bit worried about the blowout. So Kawhi, Paul George firmly in play with more GPP options because of the blowout risk. Ibaka, Zubac splitting the minutes, don't love either. Marcus Morris, I think, is a decent value play at 4-4. Should play mid-20s minutes. I think he's viable. But other than that, I don't think I get to anyone else in the Clippers. Let's move on to Denver and Phoenix. So Jokic, I think, looks like one of the better plays at the top at 11K. Fantastic spot here. DeAndre Ayton, not a good defender. So Jokic has just been having an insane season. He really has. 67, 64, 72. Was on pace for over 70 the last game, and it blew out. So, Nikola Jokic at the top looks like one of the best options of the slate if you can get to him. Now, got to keep an eye on Michael Porter Jr. news. He's currently questionable. If he plays, that's a hit to Jamal Murray. That takes Will Barton out of play. So, got to keep an eye on that. MPJ himself probably wouldn't go there unless there's news that he's full go. If MPJ's out, I think we could look to Jamal Murray and GPPs. You guys know the floor, though. If you play Jamal Murray this year, you know the floor is really low if he's not hitting a shot. So, ceiling's high, but also floor is low. So, perfect GPP play. Paul Millsap had a big game last game. I don't know if I want to chase it. He's been up and down. Minutes have not been huge for him. He's only playing 20-ish minutes. You can go back there if you want. I'm probably not going to. Gary Harris relying on the scoring. Probably not going to do that. Morris, Dozier, just fine value plays. Probably play around 20 minutes each. They're okay. But that's it. Let's move on to Phoenix. So, I mentioned that one of those Phoenix guys will probably have an upside game, and it was DeAndre Ayton. He was the one I liked the best last game. Now, I didn't play him, but he went for 62, again, in a smash spot there. Priced up a little bit, and now going up against Nikola Jokic. I don't like targeting centers against Jokic. I don't. I'm just worried about foul trouble concerns here. So, Ayton, more of just a contrarian play. Booker just doesn't have the upside right now. He just doesn't. This is not there. Chris Paul at 7-2, just minutes going down on him a bit. I don't really like any. If I had to pick one of the top guys, it would be Ayton. The wings, Bridges, Crowder, If I had to pick one, it'd be Cam Johnson. Did play 28 minutes last game. I think he's a decent value play at 4.4K. But that's it. There's not a ton that stands out for me on the Phoenix side. And finally, New York and Sacramento. So Julius Randle, I think, makes for one of the better plays in the slate at 9.1K. Should play close to 40 minutes. And this is a fantastic matchup. You guys know I love targeting players against the Bulls. I love targeting players against the Kings. So really do like Julius Randle here at 9-1. One of my favorite plays this slate. And I think normally RJ Barrett's a guy I avoid, but because of the matchup here, I think he is firmly in play. So both Barrett and Randle, I do like a good amount. Alfred Payton did play decent minutes in the first half. You can go to him in GBPs, but still, if he's not playing well, they will sub him out to go like Burks or Quickly. So it's it's always a risk there with Alfred Payton. Quickly only played 6 minutes in the first half, so that's kind of frustrating. Alec Burks, curious to see how many minutes he plays tonight. And if he does play in a back-to-back off the ankle injury. If he's full go, I think he'd be an interesting play there at that price. And that's it for New York. On the Sacramento side, so New York's actually been pretty solid defensively. De'Aaron Fox, I think, is an okay bring back if you wanted to kind of stack this game and go like Randall Barrett. Like Fox would probably be the guy to bring it back with. He's flashing him upside. I think, again, 8-8, though, not really getting that amazing discount. I'm not going to Buddy Hield. Rashawn Holmes does intrigue me here at 6-3 just because the minutes. He's playing enormous minutes. 35 in a blowout last game. Was on pace for about 40. Played 42 there against the Pelicans. So, like, I think Rashawn Holmes is viable here. I like the matchup against the Knicks. So, like, I'm intrigued by Rashawn Holmes there for GPPs because of the minutes. Yeah, Harrison Barnes, like I said, this is what I'm talking about. This is the Harrison Barnes we know, right? Low usage, stay in the corner guy. He's going back to his old ways. I'm not going there. Marvin Bagley at 5-5 also does intrigue me here. Played 29 minutes in a blowout, was on pace for over 30. Previous 2 games, 31 and 36 minutes. Again, good spot here against the, matchup wise, I think it would be match, like, even though the Knicks have been solid defensively, like, the individual matchup, I'm saying, like, against, like, Randall's not, like, a great defender. Like, the team defense has been good, but, like, individual matchup, I think would be decent for him. So, I think he's actually a decent play here at 5-5. As long as he plays, which looks like he will be. I do have some interest in Marvin Bagley because of minutes recently. That's it. Like, the minutes on Halliburton are going down, so probably not going to do that. And, yeah, that's really it. Not really interested in Whiteside. If he does play or not, doesn't do a ton for me. So, that's going to do it for the video today, guys. If you haven't enjoyed the content so far, I would really appreciate it if you leave a like button on the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit the notification bell so you don't upload videos you don't live. Again, let's aim for 200 likes if we can in this video. That'd be greatly, greatly appreciated, guys. Thanks again. Have a great night, and I'll see you guys all tomorrow in the live stream.